Welcome to YS Online. Ako po si Dice, coming to you from the Suzuki Nihongo Learning Center in Quezon City, the Philippines. If you're new to this channel, check out our library for more Japanese lessons in Taglish. Last lesson, natutunan natin magbigay ng opinion or idea sa isang bagay gamit ang particle to with omoimasu. So the pattern was plain form to omoimasu. I think that, and then your opinion. Sa English, right? In today's lesson, we will also use the particle to repeat or to quote what another person has said using the pattern speaker wa, plain form, sentence to imasu, which means sabi ni speaker or sabi niya na in Tagalog, or the speaker is saying or the speaker said in English, right? We will also learn the pattern plain form desho to ask something something, right? Parang sinabi mo na diba sa Tagalog, right? So if you want a simple confirmation from your audience, this is the pattern to use. Make sure to take some notes as I have a challenge for you guys at the end of the lesson. Feel free to rewind or pause kung nabibilisan kayo. Alright? Let's get started. Okay, so let's discuss our sentence pattern, speaker wa, sentence to imasu. The first use of this pattern is when you are trying to quote someone or something directly. So this is when we are reporting speech directly or verbatim. So kapag inuulit natin ang salita ng tao or bagay, we use the speaker wa, sentence to imasu. Okay, so for our example, imagine that you are at work and you are in a conversation with your boss, Mr. Suzuki. Halimbawa, pinagsabihan tayo na ni Mr. Suzuki na sabihin sa buong office, there is a meeting tomorrow. We will discuss our next project. So meron tayong meeting bukas, pag-uusapan natin ang susunod na project. In Japanese, that's ashita kaigi ga arimasu. 次のプロジェクトについて話し合います。明日会議があります。次のプロジェクトについて話し合います。So tomorrow is 明日。Meeting is 会議。To have or メロン means あります。次 means next。プロジェクトについて means about the project. And 話し合います means to discuss. So again, that's 明日会議があります。次のプロジェクトについて話し合います。So, how will we tell our coworkers in Japanese what our boss, Mr. Suzuki, said? So, paano ninyo sasabihin sa ibang ang sinabi ni Mr. Suzuki? Sundan lang natin ang pattern, speaker wa, sentence to iimashita for past tense. Alright, so magiging ganito na ang sentence natin. First is yung speaker, so that's Mr. Suzuki, or in Japanese, Suzuki-san wa. Next is yung sinabi niya, which is, there will be a meeting tomorrow. We will discuss our next project. 明日会議があります。次のプロジェクトについて話し合います。Then, idudugtong natin ang to iimashita sa huli or at the end, right? So, ang sentence natin ay Suzuki-san wa 明日会議があります。次のプロジェクトについて話し合いますと言いました。Suzuki-sanは明日会議があります。次のプロジェクトについて話し合いますと言いました。Right? So, that sentence directly translates to Mr. Suzuki said, there is a meeting tomorrow. We will discuss our next project. So, Tagalog. Sabi ni Mr. Suzuki, may meeting tayo bukas. Pag-uusapan natin ang susunod na project. Kung mapapansin ninyo, inulit lang natin ang eksaktong sinabi ni Mr. Suzuki, letra por letra. Walang dagdag or bawas. So, This is how we quote somebody else in Japanese. Let's take a look at another example using to iimasu. Here in Japan, we say good night before going to bed. In Japanese, before going to bed is neru mae ni, and good night is oyasumi nasai. So let's put that together. That's neru mae ni oyasumi nasai to iimasu. Neru mae ni oyasumi nasai to iimasu. Since this is a saying in the present tense, we use the to iimasu. So just a reminder that greetings are very, very, very important in Japanese, which is why we always greet good morning and good night. The next use of the pattern is when you are reporting speech indirectly. So, when you say something that someone else said, but not word for word. You can also use this to summarize what someone said, especially when you do not remember everything that the other person said. So, ito ay kapag may sinabi ang iba sa atin at hindi na natin naalala lahat ng sinabi, pero yung pinakapunto ang naalala natin. Babaguhin natin ang sentence into plain form. So, ang pattern naman para diyan ay speaker wa sentence plain form to iimashita. Sentence plain form to iimashita. So, for this pattern, we will change the sentence of the speaker into the plain form before to iimashita. Let's take a look at our earlier example. Suzuki-san wa ashita kaigi ga arimasu. Tsugi no project ni tsuite hanashiaimasu to iimashita. So, kunyari, after nasabi ni Suzuki-san ang ito, nakalimutan natin kung tungkol saan ang meeting, pero kailangan pa rin natin banggitin na may meeting bukas. So, in this scenario, we forgot what the meeting is about, but we still have to inform others that there is a meeting tomorrow. In this case, we will drop the second sentence and go with the first. So, may binawasan tayo dito mula sa sinabi ni Suzuki-san. Palitan natin ng plain form yung first sentence na sinabi ni Suzuki-san. So, arimasu becomes aru. Magiging ganito ang sentence natin. Suzuki-san wa ashita kaigi ga aru to iimashita. Suzuki-san wa ashita kaigi ga aru to iimashita. So that means Mr. Suzuki said there will be a meeting tomorrow. Or sabi ni Mr. Suzuki na may meeting bukas. Do you see the difference? Napapansin nyo ba ang pagkaiba ng meaning kapag naka-plain form siya? So, hindi na siya word for word ang gamit natin since nagbawas tayo dito sa sinabi ni Suzuki-san. So, yung pinaka-marker or distinction sa paggamit ng pattern, speaker wa, sentence to iimasu, is based on whether you say exactly what the speaker said, word for word, or if you have modified what he said. Kapag word for word, we do not need to put the speaker's sentence into plain form. Whereas kapag may modification sa sinabi ni speaker, we turn their sentence or sentences into plain form before tayo mag to iimasu. So our pattern becomes speaker wa, sentence, plain form, to iimasu. Alright, moving on. Let's look at how to turn these into questions using interrogatives. In this case, we will use nang, which is another way of asking what in English. Para naman sa interrogative questions natin, gagamitin natin ang tanong na nan to iimasu ka. That means, what will you say? Or, anong sasabihin mo? And nan to iimashita ka, that means, what did you say? So, anong sinabi mo? So, the first one is for present and future tense, and the second one is for past tense. So, for example, para mas malaman natin ang culture and traditions in Japan sa pagkain nila or when they eat their food, we ask our Japanese friend, what do you say before a meal? Meal is shokuji, before is mae ni, and what do you say is nan to iimasu ka. So, ang sentence natin ay magiging ganito. Shokuji no mae ni nan to iimasu ka? Shokuji no mae ni nanto iimasu ka? So, kaya na natin sagutin ito gamit ang sentence pattern kanina. Sasagutin na natin yan ng ganito. Shokuji no mae ni itadakimasu to iimasu. Shokuji no mae ni itadakimasu to iimasu. So, I think you guys can guess, in English that means we say itadakimasu before a meal. Really useful tip to remember, as here in Japan, it is mannerful to say itadakimasu before your meal. And another tip, gochisou sama deshita after your meal. Alright, so next na topic natin ay ang huling topic sa lesson na ito. Kapag humihingi tayo ng pagsangayon or kumpirmasyon galing sa taong kausap natin, ginagamit ang expression desho na pataas ang tono. Desho. So when we use the phrase expression desho, as the speaker, we are assuming that the listener knows what we are talking about, or at least have some knowledge or background in what we are trying to say. And tinataas natin ang tone or intonation sa dulo ng desho to express that it is a question. Kailangan na naka-plain form ang verb, e-adjective, na-adjective, and noun, but without the da in the case of na-adjective or noun. Kung maalala ninyo ang desne, there's a similarity between that. So, sa Tagalog naman, ito ay parang, di ba? Now, take a look at the diagram on your screen. So, e-adjective is plain form desho. For na-adjectives and noun, it's da. So again, the verbs e and na adjectives and nouns are turned into their plain form, and the da is removed and desho is added. For example, na-invite tayo ng kaibigan natin sa isang party. Halimbawa, gusto natin itanong ang kaibigan natin, "You're going to the party, right?" Paano kaya natin sabihin in Japanese? So, sundan natin ang pattern. Party in Japanese is party. Going is ikimasu. Gagawin nating plain form ang verb ikimasu, so ang plain form niya is iku. So, magiging ganito na ang ating sentence. Party ni. Next is the plain form iku. Then, idudugtong na ang desho. So all in all, we have party ni iku desho. Party ni iku desho. So basically that means you're going to the party, right? Or pupunta ka sa party, di ba? Another example, halimbawa winter na sa Japan and you are currently at work. Habang break time sa trabaho, imagine that you are talking to your Japanese coworker. Then you ask, the weather is cold, right? Cold. Weather is tenki, and ang cold is samui. So, ang sentence natin ay magiging, Tenki wa samui desho. Tenki wa samui desho. Ang lamig ng panahon, di ba? Or, the weather is cold, right? So, ganyan lang kadali ang lesson na ito. So, kapag may narinig kayo sa anime na gamit ang phrase desho, it means na may tinatanong ang character na madalian lang ang sagot. So normally for this type of question, which means right or diba, we typically just say yes or no. For an informal yes, that's or and hai for a formal yes. And we do a slight nod up and down. Then we add our affirmative answer. So that's samui or hai samui desu. Both mean yes, it is cold. Para sa no naman, informally or casually we say or iye for a more formal tone, and we shake our head sideways, right? Then we add our negative statement. So that's samukunai or iye samukunai desu. Both of these mean no, it is not cold. For our no answers naman, we can also give the correct answer instead of a negative statement. So we could say, atsui. Or, iie, atsui desu. Right? Okay, kayo naman. Subukan niyong gumawa ng sarili ninyong sentence gamit ang pattern na ito. So, alam na natin kung paano i-quote ang sinasabi or sinabi ng tao or mga kaibigan. And alam niyo na kung paano magtanong ng something-something, di ba? So those are questions in Japanese, right? I'm guessing that you are all experts by now, but feel free to rewind if you need to hear the explanations or examples again. This time, kayo naman gumawa ng sentences in Japanese. I-translate ninyo ang mga sentence na sumusunod into Japanese. My sister said, "Thank you." The president said that he will go to Japan tomorrow. What do you say after your meal? The food is hot, right? Yes, it is hot. No, it is cold. So, for number 4, casual answers ang gagamitin natin. Japanese is easy, right? Yes, it is. Or, no, it is difficult. Now, for number 5, formal answers naman ang gagamitin natin. Write your answers in the comment section below. And that's it for us at YS Online today. Thank you very much for watching as always, and if you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends who might be interested to learn more about the Japanese language. For YS Online, my name is Dice. Ja, mata ne! For all our full YS Online members out there, we have quizzes and other review materials for you to go through para ma-absorb ninyo ang natututunan natin sa mga lessons natin dito. So, be sure to take these quizzes. If you're interested in becoming a full member for our online program, be sure to check us out at www.ysnlc.com. Stay tuned to our next video. Gagamitin natin ang pinag-aralan natin ngayon para gumawa ng mga bagong sentences. I'll see you guys next time.